From the depths of the Atlantic, a name echoes through history. Titanic. It's a story synonymous with human ambition, technological marvel, and an unimaginable tragedy that captivated the world and forever changed maritime safety. More than a century has passed, yet the allure of the unsinkable ship, its opulent decks, and the fateful night of April 14, 1912, remains as potent as ever. Join us as we journey back to an era of grand ocean liners, exploring the dreams, the hubris, and the devastating reality of the RMS Titanic. Our story begins not in the cold Atlantic, but in the bustling shipyards of Belfast, Northern Ireland. The early 20th century was the golden age of ocean travel, and the White Star Line, a prominent British shipping company, sought to dominate the transatlantic passenger trade. Their vision was not merely speed, but unparalleled luxury and scale. Under the ambitious leadership of its chairman, J. Bruce Ismay, and Lord Pirrie, chairman of Harland and Wolff Shipyard, the concept of the Olympic-class liners was born. These were to be the largest, most luxurious ships ever built. The RMS Olympic, the RMS Titanic, and the HMHS Britannic. Construction of the Titanic, or hull No. 401 feet, began on the 31st of March 1909. It was an immense undertaking, a testament to industrial might and human ingenuity. Thousands of workers toiled for 3 years, shaping over 3 million rivets and countless tons of steel into a floating palace. Designed by Thomas Andrews, a brilliant naval architect and managing director of Harland and Wolff, the Titanic was truly a marvel. She stretched 882 feet 9 inches, 269.1 meters in length, stood 175 feet, 53.3 meters high from keel to the top of the funnels, and weighed approximately 46,328 gross registered tons. Her engines, a combination of reciprocating steam engines and a low-pressure turbine, could generate 46,000 horsepower, propelling her across the ocean at a service speed of 21 knots. But it was not just her size and power that captivated. The Titanic was a floating city of unparalleled luxury. First-class passengers enjoyed amenities never before seen at sea. A swimming pool, a gymnasium, Turkish baths, squash courts, and lavish dining saloons. Their staterooms, adorned with rich wood paneling and bespoke furnishings, rivaled the finest hotels. Second-class accommodation was comparable to first-class on other liners, while even third-class passengers, often immigrants seeking a new life in America, enjoyed a standard of living superior to many of their homes ashore. It was a microcosm of society, bound for a new world, a grand experiment in social stratification afloat. Finally, after years of meticulous construction and fitting out, the RMS Titanic was ready. On the 10th of April 1912, she departed from Southampton, England, on her maiden voyage to New York City. Captain Edward J. Smith, a veteran Commodore of the White Star Line, known for his impeccable record, was at the helm. This was to be his final command before retirement, a triumphant capstone to a distinguished career. After brief stops in Cherbourg, France, and Queenstown, now Cobb, Ireland, to pick up additional passengers and mail, the Titanic set a course for the open Atlantic, carrying approximately 2,224 souls, passengers, and crew. For the first 4 days, the voyage was uneventful, almost idyllic. Passengers reveled in the ship's grandeur, enjoying the fine dining, socializing, and anticipating their arrival in America. But beneath the surface of this serene journey, a deadly threat was slowly approaching. The North Atlantic shipping lanes were known for icebergs in spring, but 1912 saw an unusually severe season. On the 14th of April, the Titanic received multiple ice warnings from other vessels, including the Mesobar, the Californian, and the Baltic. Crucially, some of these warnings were either not passed on to the bridge or were dismissed as non-critical. Source: British Wreck Commissioner's Inquiry. 1912. At 11:40 p.m., ship's time on April 14. Lookout Frederick Fleet spotted a colossal iceberg directly ahead. He telephoned the bridge, exclaiming, "Iceberg right ahead." First Officer William Murdoch, who was on duty, immediately ordered, "Hard a starboard," turning the ship to port, and "full Aston on the engines." But it was too late. The Titanic, with her immense momentum, could not turn quickly enough. Just seconds later, she scraped along the iceberg's submerged portion for about 10 seconds. Many passengers felt only a slight shudder, a faint grinding noise, or a jolt. Some thought she had merely dropped a propeller blade. Captain Smith, awakened by the impact, quickly arrived on the bridge. He ordered a full inspection. Thomas Andrews, the ship's designer, was summoned. After a grim walk through the damaged lower decks, Andrews delivered the devastating news. 6 of the ship's 16 watertight compartments in the bow had been breached. The Titanic could only stay afloat if 4 compartments were flooded, with 6 open to the sea. He calculated the ship had, at most, an hour and a half, perhaps 2, to live. The Unsinkable ship was mortally wounded. At 12:15 a.m. on April 15, Captain Smith ordered the wireless operators, Jack Phillips and Harold Bride, to send out distress calls, first CQD, then the newer SOS. Nearby ships, including the RMS Carpathia, under Captain Arthur Rostron, immediately changed course and steamed towards the Titanic's last known position. But they were over 58 miles away, requiring a 4-hour journey at maximum speed. Tragically, another vessel, the SS Californian, was much closer, within sight of the Titanic's rockets. But its wireless operator had gone to bed, and its crew misinterpreted the flares as company signals. Source: U.S. Senate Inquiry. 1912. As the reality of the situation dawned, the order was given to begin loading the lifeboats. And here lies one of the most compelling and tragic historical facts. The Titanic carried enough lifeboats for only 1,178 people, barely 1/3 of her total capacity of 2,224 souls on board, and less than half of her certified maximum capacity of 3,547, ***. This was due to outdated maritime regulations based on tonnage rather than passenger count. The initial loading was slow and chaotic. Many boats were launched only partially filled, with capacity for 65 people, often leaving with only 20 or 30. The protocol of women and children first was generally, though not uniformly, enforced. The ship's band, led by Wallace Hartley, famously played on deck, performing hymns and popular tunes to calm passengers and maintain a semblance of order amidst the growing panic. This act of unwavering courage, as the musicians played until the very end, is one of the most enduring symbols of heroism from the disaster. ***. All 8 members of the band perished amongst the chaos. Acts of immense bravery and shocking cowardice unfolded. Benjamin Guggenheim, a wealthy American businessman, reportedly donned his finest evening wear, stating, "We are dressed in our best and are prepared to go down like gentlemen." Conversely, J. Bruce Ismay, the chairman of the White Star Line, managed to secure a spot in a collapsible lifeboat, an act that would haunt him for the rest of his life and lead to widespread public condemnation. His survival, whilst many women and children perished, became a focal point of the subsequent inquiries and public outrage. Thomas Andrews, the ship's designer, was last seen in the first-class smoking room, calmly observing the rising water, having given away his lifebelt and helping countless others. He understood the ship's fate better than anyone and met his end with quiet dignity, a testament to his dedication to his creation and its passengers. Source: accounts of survivors like Mary Sloan, a stewardess. As the bow sank deeper, the stern began to rise, exposing the giant propellers. At approximately 2:18 a.m., the strain on the hull became too great, and the Titanic began to break apart between the third and fourth funnels. The lights flickered, then went out, plunging the scene into darkness. The stern rose almost vertically, briefly hanging in the air, before sliding beneath the icy waves at 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912. The screams of over 1,500 people in the freezing water, struggling for life, filled the night, a sound described by survivors as utterly horrifying and unforgettable. Within minutes, the extreme cold claimed most of them. At dawn, the RMS Carpathia arrived, finding a scene of utter devastation, an expanse of debris and a few overcrowded lifeboats. Of the 2,224 people on board, only 710 were rescued. The world awoke to the shocking news. Grief turned to outrage, and immediate inquiries were launched on both sides of the Atlantic. The British inquiry, led by Lord Mersey, and the American Senate inquiry, meticulously gathered evidence, interviewing survivors and experts. The findings were damning. The inquiries highlighted several critical failures: the insufficient number of lifeboats, the speed at which the ship was traveling through an ice field, the inadequate training for lifeboat drills, and the communication failures, particularly the ignored ice warnings and the Californians' proximity. These investigations led to profound and lasting changes in maritime law and safety regulations. The International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, SOLAS, was established in 1914, setting international standards for ship construction, equipment, and operation. It mandated that all ships must carry enough lifeboats for everyone on board, maintain a 24-hour radio watch, and established the International Ice Patrol, which still monitors icebergs in the North Atlantic today. The Titanic disaster remains an enduring symbol of human hubris, the stark realities of class disparity, and the fragility of even the greatest technological achievements. Its rediscovery by Dr. Robert Ballard in 1985, lying in two pieces on the ocean floor, brought the tragedy back into vivid public consciousness. The story of the Titanic continues to fascinate, a powerful reminder of the human cost when ambition outstrips caution, and a testament to the courage and sacrifice displayed in humanity's darkest hours. It is a story that, despite the passage of time, refuses to sink into oblivion, forever etched into the annals of history.